as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome back to Marbella Now. My name is Nicole King, and I'm delighted to welcome back to Marbella Now, but the first time in the RTV Marbella studios, Gary Waite. Very well-known personality here in Marbella, and not only has he got a great reputation in his restaurateur abilities, he's written a couple of books, and they're actually quite good. Gary, nice to welcome you to the programme again.
Nice of you to say those things. Yes, thank you.
Well, of course. How could I not? Last time we were together was just after lockdown.
Yes, in between.
And yes, and we had, in between. We had a nice little chat in the Real Club de Paddle, also Zero Hero members, by the way. And it's very nice to see that in the resident community, your book is actually really taking off. I've had quite a few people that are actually saying, "Oh, have you read Gary's book?" And you've read Gary's book.
Oh, right, good. That's good. Yeah.
So tell us a bit about how's life at the moment. What are you up to? Are you writing another book, or?
I am actually. Yes. I've got nothing better to do, apart from putting on about 10 COVID kilos, and not getting to the hairdresser for about 2 months. Everything's much the same as it was. But
so what's the subject on this book?
Well, this one is completely different. As you know, the first one, The Warm War, was a novel, and it was based here in Spain and Russia and the States. This one is a novel as well. The other one was an autobiography, or sounds ever so grand, autobiography. I just mean it's a ramblings of memoirs before I came to Spain and since I've been in Spain. So it's quite personal, and it's about where I've been, what I've done, who I've met, the people that I've been with, and had the company of lovely ladies and mates and what have you. So it's very much a personal.
How long have you been on the coast?
36 years next year. That's
Most of your life?
Half my life. Well,
I was being sweet.
Yeah, that's right. No, it's not half my life yet. It's true. Yeah. But this one is a factitious book. It's based in Monte Carlo in 1942. My great uncle had a hotel in Monte Carlo called the Bristol Majestic Hotel, and it was taken over by the Germans, well, the Italians first, and then the Germans in the Second World War. When, if you read, or if you know the history of Monte Carlo, it remained a sort of a neutral premises, mainly because a lot of Italians lived in Monte Carlo at the time, in Monaco, and the idea was that the Italians weren't actually that keen on sort of invading it because there were Italians there. But they eventually did. But they only stayed for about 9 months. And then it was taken over by the Germans. And the Germans took over the hotel. And then from there, the story develops about the family. And it's a fictitious family. But obviously it's based a little bit on what little knowledge I had about my great uncle and his brother. And so it's that. And of course, it's an espionage type thing. It's about the resistance and how they managed to help Jewish families escape, and how they sort of sabotaged the Germans' movements if they could, and mixing that with relationships, love and family, and how the families progressed from 1940 up through to the mid-2000s.
It sounds like a fascinating read. I mean, I'm just sitting here like, tell me more, tell me more.
Well, it's one of, I mean, when I did The Warm War, I had an idea, and I didn't have a plan. And eventually, the story started to come. Well, I had the idea for this one, but again, didn't really have a plan. So I started writing, and what I like about it is when I develop characters, and if I start liking the characters, then I find out where they're going to go. And if I can work out where they're going to go, then the story will go with them. And that's basically how it's happened. I've had a few constipatory moments when I've sat there looking at the screen and thinking, I don't know what's going to happen next. What am I going to do with him? How am I going to get him where I want him to be? And what are they going to do when they get there? And things like that. But basically, I've got a rough idea. So I'm only a third of the way through it, if that. I've only done about 25,000 words. So.
25,000 words. You say it so like, oh, just 25,000 words.
Well, if you're right, it is, oh God, it's only 25,000 words. Although they do say a novel shouldn't really be more than about 70,000 words. But,
Really?
But tell that to people like Freud and people like that. Clement Freud? Freudian slip. Yes, so it'll be 75,000 words when it's finished, about 350 pages.
Well, the books that I've read of yours they're easy reads, and I don't mean to be offensive by saying that, but it's a book you can pick up, put down, in the sense of, like, it really is, it's very fluid. Did you have any journalistic experience before?
Well, I've always written, as you know, for newspapers, magazines and things like that. I did write a book when I was 15, I think, and it was a bit of like animals in the woods type of rubbish, you know, but it didn't get very far with it. But I wrote about 100 pages, I think.
No, but I mean, it's commendable. They say everyone
it's all
has
by hand as well.
Everyone says they have a book in them, but it's
think
those who
everybody
can get a
does.
book out of them. That's a different
right.
story.
I mean, I've got a couple of friends who've had some really interesting years, and one of them is a lot older than me, but he's had an amazing life. And he says, I must write my book. And he said, but I can't do it. And I said, well, if you read, you know, if we sit down and go through it and I record it, then, you know, I'll probably be able to ghostwrite it for you. Because, as you say, people know what they want to say but don't know how to say it. I mean, not that I'm that brilliant at it. I mean,
no, but you do. You have a gift, and it's not, everyone can't just take words and make them flow and take the ideas that you have and then develop them.
I think it's the enjoyment of doing it. As I say, I love the building up of the characters more than anything else. And I start doing it, I mean, not the autobiography, obviously not, but The Warm War was very much a movie in my mind. You know, I can tell you now what the characters look like and everything else. And the thing about The Warm War is, everybody says to me, I say, who are your favourite characters? And they all pick the same 3 characters.
There's only 3 characters in the book. No, I'm being facetious.
No. Well, what I did is I did each character have their own section to build the story up. And there's a Guardia Civil officer in there who used to be in Madrid, and he became the head of the Guardia down here in Marbella, and he's in it, and he's a big chap, you know, a real big lad with a soft heart, and he's which doesn't sound like the Guardia Civil too much, but
well, actually, I would say that a lot of them are actually like that.
The ones that I've had the pleasure of meeting, and they've not been on a really bad, apart from the odd traffic stop or something, have always been very kind and very gentle.
Well, I think your novels, undoubtedly the one where it does lend itself that each character could actually then have a spin-off novel about their own life and everything. So, I mean, you've kind of got material to keep you going for quite a few years.
Well, it's funny enough, I did start to write the second one, which was a follow-on from the first. But I didn't have enough in it to make me want to write it. And then I was working, you know, I mean, that was the Warm War I wrote years ago, and it was republished in 2018. But up until then, it was written really in 1997, 98. So it's quite old. But if you read it now, well, you have read it now, it doesn't show that it's age, except for the fact it mentions pesetas and places in Marbella that probably are no longer here. But yeah,
but it's funny, as they say, same song, different tune. And you've been here a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And although Marbella has changed dramatically over the last 3-4 decades, it's somehow remained the same. No, don't you find that it's remained the same feeling that we're in a village and very much each to ourselves?
I think I mean, I know the work that you try and do to bring the communities together, and I think the one thing is a problem, that there isn't that much of a community type of spirit. I mean, we say there is, but then again, to mix so many nationalities together is very, very difficult. I mean, we all have different ways. In fact, the only common thing we have is wanting to be in Spain in the sunshine and with the Mediterranean style of life. But I think that we do still tend to keep ourselves to ourselves. I mean, where I live, you know, the Guadalmina area, I mean, I've got a lovely apartment. I live in a nice little pueblo there. But, I mean, I only know the neighbours to sort of just say hello, and that's about it. Whereas if I'd lived perhaps in London, and I had even though in London they don't mix that well, but if I lived in a small little terraced avenue or something, I'd probably know half the neighbours there.
Do you speak Spanish?
Of course I do speak Spanish.
You say, of course I do, but there's no of course I do with any Englishman on the coast.
Well, no, that's true. And do you ask me, am I fluent in Spanish? And if you're English and you hear me talk, you say, God, he's fluent in Spanish. But you and I know that when you get involved in conversations with people about things that you're not fluent in, then you struggle a little, or I struggle a little bit, you know.
But it's funny because I think those of us who've been here, the amount of time we had to have some Spanish because people didn't speak English like they do now.
No, I can always remember the first time. And of course, the Spanish in principle didn't really like you not speaking it, but they understood that you couldn't. And that often left a problem because they couldn't speak any English either. So as you say, we didn't have a lot of choice. So I went to school when I got here. I mean, it was one of the first things I did.
Me too, I went to Inlingua.
Yeah, well, I went to the one in Fuengirola because I started that end. And I was in Fuengirola and I went to this with a friend and we went in there. And the teacher, a young lad, and he was chatting away and I thought, what's he saying? And I thought, how can he teach me Spanish when I don't know what he's talking about? So it did take a little bit of a while. And I remember going into an estanco for a stamp. And I didn't know what stamp was. I mean, it's so stupid. I did the classic English, didn't I? Buenos días. ¿Tienes un stampo para Inglaterra, por favor?
It's very funny because I was in the supermarket the other day and this guy was standing there saying, fechas, fechas. Now, I know, and she's looking at him like, what? And as I was walking out, I was like, fechas, dates. But dates in Spanish are dátiles. Yes. But it was only when I was leaving, fechas. He wants fechas, oh, he wants dates.
Well, that does happen. But I suppose if you reverse that and think about the foreigners trying to speak English, the words that we have that sound exactly the same have completely different meanings.
Exactly.
Like through and through and things like that.
Exactly. Always say cough and bow. Why shouldn't it be cough and boff and cow and bow? Yeah. No, crazy English language.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm delighted to catch up with you again,
Super.
Gary. You're looking really good. I'm very interested in your next book. When do you think it's due?
Well, if it carries on, that's the cover.
The Hotel Manager.
Yeah. And it's based, as I
I
say...
like the cover. I like the
Yeah.
whole philosophy is great. I think
Yeah.
you're growing. I
Yeah.
think you're really getting into
I'm certainly
this.
growing, that's for sure.
COVID growth.
COVID growth.
So when do you think, are you planning?
I'm planning to hope it is published at the end of January at the latest.
Well, we'll look
Depends how
forward
hard
to it.
I work between now and the end of January.
Okay, no one call Gary, he's got work
Oh, no,
to
you can
do.
call me anytime you like. If you're struggling in a restaurant business somewhere, which there are many of you, if you need any help, I'm there to
Yeah,
to
and
help.
boy, he can organise the best Sunday lunch a restaurant could ever imagine. No, without a doubt, if you are looking to get more business into your restaurant, become a Zero Hero partner. You can also get part of AAA's Dine and Donate. And Gary is a great person to get on board to help you organise and get things going. But also a super author, The Warm War, Half My Life, and now The Hotel Manager coming soon
The Hotel Manager.
into a bookshop near you. We're going to leave it there for the moment and have some messages now from our sponsors. A big thank you to the Road Traffic Safety Foundation Linear Director for sponsoring our Zero Hero incentive, where local bars, restaurants and hotels reward the designated driver with free soft drinks. And also Linear Director for making tailor-made car insurance policies just for us foreigners. For example, if you have a NIE and live in the province of Malaga and you've got a policy with Linear Direct, you're entitled to a free taxi up to 4 times a month. And that includes a tow truck to take your car back as well if you want to, don't have to want to go back for the next day. Anyway, enough from me. Over to the messages from Linear Direct, our Zero Hero partners, and then we'll be back.
Hi guys, Ross here from Hogan Stand. Proud to be a member of the Zero Hero campaign. And we recommend everybody. Nobody drives drinking. Everybody who drives a car doesn't have any alcohol in their system, and we're proud to sponsor the Zero Hero program.
Our welcome Zero Heroes come and visit us for Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Hey, hey.
Judy likes to consider herself a clever young woman, which is why she thought very carefully before choosing her insurance company. Now that she needs it, she's jolly glad she chose Linear Director, as it looks as if she might have something better to do. Why don't you be clever, like Judy? Call Linear Director on 952 14 78 34 and see which policy is best for you.
When I'm the designated driver, I think it's only fair that I get to choose a zero-hero venue that rewards me with free soft drinks. My friends all get to choose and booze, and they feel safe going home with me. Make sure that you get your reward for being the designated driver. Why pay if you don't have to?
Zero Hero, welcome to the playwright.
Hello guys, welcome to Harbor. All the designated drivers are welcome here to the Harbor. We are very proud to be a Zero Hero partner.
G-Wine is happy to be Zero Hero partner.
Clara are proud to present Zero to Hero. Never drink and drive.
Yes, I mean, do you think that across the piece,
McNulty's is proud to be a Zero Hero partner. Casa Tua is proud to be a Zero Hero partner.
We're all thinking about Christmas and undoubtedly presents. I can only but plead that you buy your presents in charity shops from our local businesses, and if you do go out, that you go to the local businesses and support them. They really do need our support, undoubtedly. As Spectrum says in their advertising, if we don't use them, we will lose them. When I walk out and about Marbella, I think there's another business closed every single day. It is up to us local residents to use our local businesses. Please don't go to the big shops or buy online when you can buy something locally. And I can but encourage you to go to our charity shops. I got this for €3 in the Butterfly Children or the Kudeka shop, I'm not sure which, but they all have great stuff. We live in a great area where people have lots of money and they often give away things they've never even used. Remember also, dine and donate with AAA. If you go to one of the participating businesses and you say that you've come to dine and donate for AAA, they will give a percentage of your bill to the Animal Rescue Centre. Likewise, Zero Hero partners are awarding the designated driver with free soft drinks. Always good to go to local businesses, but particularly those who are involved with our local community. Well, that's it for me for today. Take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow.
Upon tonight, I'm a little divided. Should I stay and run away, leave it all behind? It's times like these you learn to live again.
COVID-19 has hit many local families hard, and Christmas is looking bleak. 40 to 50% more people are struggling to feed their families without the help of the Red Cross. Many of the families in need have never needed our help before, but they need our help today more than ever. If you can, please consider donating and helping our Red Cross campaign. No amount is too small to make a big change. Thank you.
In times like these, you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again.
A big thank you for joining us every day to watch Marbella Now. Please do like, share and follow the programme, because it's the only way, well, one of the only ways that the community can find out what's going on, whether it be about charities, job opportunities, social events going on. It's nice to know what's happening in our local resident community and see perhaps how we can help or get more involved. That's it for today. Take care of yourselves, be nice to each other, and don't forget to join us again tomorrow for more of what's going on in Marbella Now.
We can change.